Working remotely completely changed my life. But if I'm being completely honest with you today, there are things nobody actually told me before I started. And some of them were much, much harder than I ever expected. When you are scrolling maybe through social media, everyone makes remote work maybe look like an absolute fairy tale. They show you people maybe working from beautiful cafes, maybe traveling the world and just earning in dollars without a care in the world. But nobody actually talks about the mental battles, the silent rooms, or even the moments of absolute frustrations. Today, I want to take off the glossy filter and share the 5 things nobody told me about working remotely. Because if you are on this journey right now, you need to know you are not alone. That's why I have decided to do this video in a different way. I'm not coming from my desk. I'm coming from my comfort zone and just sharing that mask off, telling you everything that actually happens to me. I just want to share my perspective and what has really worked for me and how that journey has actually been. The first thing is something that I evaluated personally, and I decided to call it the mountain of silence rejection. And nobody actually tells you just how much rejection you are going to face before you get that first yes. When I started out, I thought maybe if I just spent a weekend just fixing my CV and just fixing everything of mine and maybe sending out a few applications to maybe a certain company, they would eventually maybe pick me up. But instead, I entered a world of absolute silence. I sent 10 applications, but there was nothing actually in return. I sent out 50 applications, and the result were total silence. When you are actually applying maybe for local jobs, you might just get a polite no. But in remote world, 90% of companies actually just ghost you out. They don't reply at all. And that silence is actually heavy. It makes you sit in your room and sink into deep self-doubt. And you start maybe asking yourself and questioning yourself out. Am I even good enough? Or maybe is my background maybe holding me back? So those are questions that you're going to sit with them and ask yourself so many things. And nobody actually told me that dealing with rejection is actually a massive part of the job description when you are actually starting out online. You have to learn to build a thick skin. The second thing nobody actually prepares you for is actually something we call loneliness. In a traditional maybe office, and even if the job is actually maybe boring, you have your colleagues there. You talk during maybe lunch breaks, tea breaks, and then you either maybe complain about traffic together and you laugh out loud. But when you transition to remote work, your office is a laptop screen in a quiet room and you are just alone. In the beginning, it actually feels amazing maybe to work in your sweatpants or maybe in your hoodies. But maybe after a few weeks of doing that work, that quietness can start to feel incredibly isolating, especially if you are that person who is an extrovert. Someone who likes maybe socializing. Nobody actually told me that staying motivated when nobody is watching you is a silent superpower. You have to learn how to be your own boss, your own cheerleader, and your own clock at the same time. So even when the house is actually completely empty, you have to learn how to cheer yourself up. You have to know how to navigate through things. Whenever that project goes on, you just have to be your own self and say, yes, I did it. And all of that, you are just alone doing that. The third thing, actually nobody told me, is that confidence doesn't magically appear before you maybe start. It actually comes after you take that action. I used to watch creators online or see people with successful maybe freelance profile and think to myself, wow, they are so confident. I could never do that. I thought maybe I needed to feel 100% ready before I sent a pitch to maybe an international client. But the truth is, I did not wake up this confident. I woke up terrified. I became confident by doing the very thing that actually scared me. I became confident by sending those messy applications, jumping on that awkward Zoom interviews, and delivering out my first project just the way they are. If you are waiting maybe to feel maybe fully confident before you start applying for remote roles, then you will be waiting forever, because this journey actually doesn't need anybody who is ready. You just do whatever that feels right at that moment. You have to step out in fear, do that work, and let the confidence catch up to you later, because nobody is going to prepare you in any way. The fourth thing that nobody actually tells you is that the tiny, maybe seemingly insignificant opportunities are the ones that actually build up your career. When we dream of maybe remote work, we always picture maybe the 3,000 USD a month, maybe corporate remote contracts. But my journey did not start there. Nobody told me that doing small, maybe unglamorous projects, or even maybe volunteering my time to help startups team for maybe free would be the key to everything. This is something that nobody actually tells you. But today I am telling you. I took on a tiny task that paid very little. I help out on small internships just to learn the software tools. But those small projects did two things. They gave me a real experience to put on my resume, and they actually introduced me to real people. Never actually look down on those small, maybe freelancing gigs that you're going to encounter, or maybe even the volunteer projects that you are doing, and also those internships, because those are the building blocks. They open the doors to maybe bigger rooms for you. So those two tiny little projects that you're going to ignore, they are meaningful to your resume. They are what you're going to put on your portfolio or even on your LinkedIn profile. The last thing that nobody actually told me, and this is so important, is what I call consistency. Nobody actually tells you that consistency is more important than just your raw talent. You don't have to be maybe the smartest person in the room, or even maybe the best writer, or the fastest coder to succeed online. No, this actually applies perfectly to my remote career. And to be honest, it applies to this YouTube channel too. Because I remember well that when I posted my first videos, almost nobody actually watched them. It would have been maybe so easy to look at the numbers and say, I'm not talented enough for this, and just quit this journey. But the secret to winning online, whether you're just building your channel or building your remote career, is simply showing up when you don't even feel like doing it. And that's what is going to help you. The most talented people maybe often quit because they don't get immediate results. But the person who actually stay consistent, adapts, and actually keep pushing forward, maybe week after week, that is the person who wins in the end. And that is what you want in this journey. Remember those even low times when you don't even feel like maybe opening a laptop or even just going for that morning run. Always remind yourself that you are doing this for yourself. If there is one major thing I have actually learned on this journey, it's that remote work isn't about maybe finding the perfect, easy opportunity on day one. No, it's about having the grit to continue even when you don't see those results immediately. It can be maybe that hard. It sometimes can be that lonely, and it requires maybe a lot of patience. But I promise you that the freedom and the growth on the other side actually makes single quiet battle completely worth it. Let's have an honest conversation today. If you are currently maybe looking for a remote job, what has been maybe the hardest part of the journey for you so far? Is it maybe the silence, the self-doubt, or maybe the motivation? Let me know in the comments below. I want to read your stories today. Thank you so much for sitting down and listening to me share this other side of remote work journey. If you found this video so interesting and also it gave you some clue on what actually works behind the real scenes, don't forget to like this video and also subscribing to this channel, because I always share such insightful content each and every single week. See you all in the next one. Bye bye.